Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the Object 268. It's a Tier 10 Soviet tank destroyer. It's located on the northeast spawn, or northwest spawn actually, of Pearl River. And it's under the command of Mummy of the Havoc clan. Or is that the HAKOO clan? I think it's HAKOO actually, I may be wrong. Yep, HAKOO. Okay, well this tank destroyer is based on the T-10. It was designed in 1952 in Leningrad by one of the guys who's actually responsible for building quite a few tank destroyers and tanks, Joseph Kotin. They actually made a prototype in 1956 and it went through the trials, but it didn't pass, and so it wasn't built. In fact, one of the reasons why they didn't go ahead and build it was because it was quite heavy. It's over 50 tons because of course it's based on the T-10, and the Soviets didn't think actually that they needed more heavyweight tanks because of course they already had the T-10, and they were envisaging if they had to invade Europe, then many of the bridges it just wouldn't be able to get across. Okay, Gorilla. Nice hit. Low roll though. It's a 152mm gun, capable of 750 alpha. It's got a very well unarmoured front of the vehicle. And a very decent gun as well actually, because it's got good penetration, high alpha, and a decent rate of fire. I blind fired that one just on the off chance that somebody was still there. You don't get a whole lot of ammo with this tank destroyer, only 35 rounds, so you have to be careful you don't blow away too many rounds with blind fires, because otherwise you might be short on ammo later on during the game. Standard reload is 15.8, I think that's 15.8 seconds. Yeah, 15.82 actually. Mummy's got it down to 13.39, so he's knocked a huge number of seconds off there. 3 seconds, 2 seconds odd off the time. Of course, as you know, every second counts, and if you want to increase your DPM, best way to do that is just to try and knock a few seconds off the reload time. So the penetration with the standard rounds is 303mm, so it's very strong indeed. And with the heat rounds it'll go through 395mm. So there's quite a few tanks that, although they think that they're impenetrable from the front, if you come up against the 268 they might actually come a cropper. It's also got fairly good camo qualities, this tank. And although the top speed is supposedly fairly good, it's only 48 kilometers an hour, so there are other tank destroyers which are faster. Mummy's trying to think where he can actually go to be the most effective at the moment. He probably would have been more effective actually if he'd stayed up there on that bank near the Waffenträger. You see, I think he had the right idea, stay up there, sit behind the rock and blast away at a long range. But Mummy's looking at his mini-map, and I think he spotted something that others should have spotted, and that's that the enemy has broken through on the heavy tank alley down the far side, and now we've got other tanks in here. Can he get around into the Object 257? Yes! And a high roll for 829, and the Wizzy 11114 got the kill directly after that. He was losing hit points, but I'm sure he was very grateful that Mummy put around into that guy soon enough. And another pen! This time on the 705, but it was a low roll this time for only 701, and our Wizzy's now in trouble, even though the 705 over there is, well, he's a 2-shot for the Wizzy, and the Wizzy's gone. Can he get a kill? Yes, he does. Finishes him off, and a high roll to get 781. He's going to have to stick around here now because there are enemy tanks in the heavy tank alley. You can still see there's an ST2, a Wizzy 111 Model 14, and a Kramvan somewhere in that area. And the Kramvan's been spotted, as well as the ST2, and they're near the village. So he's not sticking around. I thought he would stay around to protect the cap area. He's going to leave that to the Waffenträger, I think. He's already managed to rack up 3K's worth of damage. And we're pushing the enemy back on the roundabout route, the going around the edge of the map. Yeah, most of the enemy in the south are actually, well, outside his view range at the moment, except of course for that Skoda. Is he going to get a shot at this guy? Probably. Oh, fantastic! Pops up and gets hit immediately. There's nothing the Skoda can do to stop that. And of course the Skoda has fairly thin armour. That round went straight through him. No problem at all. Standard ammo having an effect. Now we've lost all the tanks in the village, which means that there's a Kranvan and an ST2 that could approach our cap area. So I think now he does have to stay in this area if he's going to protect our cap area. At least he's got the Waffenträger for company. The Waffenträger's looking south. The STB1 is the only one down there at the moment, facing a Waffenträger, two pair of Waffenträgers and a gorilla. Now you could go down to that bush next to that rock. That probably would be a good spot to be, because we don't know where the Kranvan and ST2 are going to pop up. Oh, he's been spotted. Pull back. Now, who was it who spotted him? Was it the Waffenträger? I think it's one of the tanks ahead of him. And it's the ST2. And he's very low on hit points. In fact, he's firing at the Waffenträger. That's why he poked out through the edge, through that gap. And now we've got the Kranvan coming up around us. So the Kranvan was very close to us, and now he's going to use that armour to good effect and try and take out the Kranvan. Now go for the hull. The hull's the weak spot. Yes, easy, below roll, 716. Unfortunately, the Kranvan does have 3 shots, but I think he's blown. That was his last shot. Okay, so we did get hit by 2 rounds, and now the ST2 is trying to have a go at us as well, but the Kranvan's a dead duck. Ram him. Yeah, nice. Now, can we get a shot on the ST2 as well? Be careful. Okay, so he can still see us at the moment, but now we've gone unspotted. Okay, we're loading HE now. Okay, because basically the 3 of the enemies left are tank destroyers, and there's the ST2. Fires! Oh, he got him! He only had a low amount of hit points left, but he hit the enemy with an HE round because he can overwhelm him. He didn't even need to pen him, just needs to hit him hard enough with HE that he expired. But now he's facing 3 enemy tank destroyers. All of them are very weak on armour, so he could take them out with HE. He's only got 2 rounds left on HE, so hello Mr. Waffenträger. Oh, that one went into the ground. Oh dear. Now get low. And they're both here. Oh my god, so he can ram kill them. And he ram kills the Waffenträger. This tank, being based on a heavy tank, it's got ramming capability. But he can't ram kill anymore, so he has to wipe out the gorilla, and he gets in with 1 round. And that means now there's only 1 Waffenträger left. Now where is he? Is he going to try it? Is he going to come and try and get us? Or dare he run away and try and ambush us from a distance? I get this funny feeling he's going around the outside of us. Well, it's all down to Mummy now to save his team and win the game for them. He's got 5 kills. If he can get 1 more, he gets a Top Gun and wins the game. He's had to load an armour piercing, but the Waffenträger's got no armour, so this shell should go straight through. Such a pity that that round that hit the ground because that would have wiped out that Waffenträger with one shot. But of course he had enough hit points left that meant that he could actually ram kill. And there's the Waffenträger! And I'm sure he knows we're here now, but there's not a lot he can do unless he can land a round on us. No, the ground undulation there doesn't work in our favour. I think we need to move a little further over. Okay, that should... Oh, no. Maybe. He's creeping up. Now the arc of fire is 11 degrees either side of the centre, 22 degrees in total. Here comes the Waffenträger. Yep, 5 degrees of gun depression. No gun depression on the Object 268 really. Again, a common failing with most Soviet tanks. They don't have depression. They have vodka for depression. So you don't use your depression, you get drunk instead. Oh, he's got the Waffenträger! He's got him! Yes! Nice! What a game! Well, he won that one. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was an ace tanker game for Mummy in the Object 268. And he also managed to get a Bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 8. A duelist for taking down 2 tanks who damaged him. A fire for effect for doing more damage than the hit points to his own vehicle. And on top of all that, he got a Top Gun for getting at least 6 kills, which is more than 1/3 of the enemy team. In fact, it's 2/5 of the enemy team in the end. Very well done. And let's have a look at the team score. Well, he got the highest damage on his team, but not the highest damage overall. The ST2 got 5,675 hit points, but he didn't pick up a high caliber because probably he didn't have 20% of the enemy hit pool. The second highest damage went to Mummy with 5,519. And the third highest damage in the game actually went to the Object 279 on his own team, who got 3,988, whilst the Kranvan on the enemy team got 3,987, just 1 hit point less. When it came to kills, it was Mummy. He got 6 kills out of that game. 4 kills went to the ST2, and 3 kills went to the Object 279. And when it came to base XP, he's got that one as well. So 2 out of 3 in this one. 1,116 went to Mummy, 1,043 went to the Object 279, 915 went to the Object 257. He fired 12 rounds, only 12 rounds in the entire battle, got 9 direct hits on the enemy and 8 penetrations and 1 splash. Damage of 5,519, of which 3,757 were at more than 300 meters, so quite a lot of damage was done at long range. 4 hits received, all 4 penetrated, I'm afraid. Yes, I'm afraid they were using the best ammo they could under the circumstances to try and take him out. 2 of those shots came from that Kranvan, and yes, he did take hits from some of the others as well, but he was just trying to bulldoze his way through it as much as he could. 8 enemy vehicles damaged, 6 killed, 155 hit points of damage assist. He earned 36,043 credits for the battle, 16,220 from battle payments, 70,285 altogether, and after repair and ammunition resupply took away 22,897 credits profit from a premium account. 1,116 XP, 6,696 from personal missions payout, and took away 8,370 experience points altogether. That's a good round in the Object 268. Let's have a look at the armor profile for this monster. Okay, well, it's very heavy armor. You can see that from the red straight away. You can see impacted armor on the front plate is 187, but with all that angling, it really does increase it quite dramatically. You can see some of the effective armor on some parts around here is coming out at 400, 420, 430. It's very, very strong on the front plate, and it's very well angled as well to try and make the shell bounce off if it's aimed at the front of the vehicle. The upper plate, you can see 135mm, but it's coming out at 215. The lower plate, if I move this up, you can see it's a pike nose, the same pike nose on the T10. 135mm on the front, coming out at 189. So very, very strong on the front plate as well. The only weak spot really is this little driver's port here, which technically speaking, well, it says 0 there, but if I move just to one side, 60 millimeters of armor around the driver's port, coming out an effective 130. So you could penetrate if you can get the shell directly underneath the gun. But remember, this gun's going to be moving up and down and possibly trying to obstruct you. Now, the top of the turret has got a weak spot there, 60 millimeters just on the top of the turret. If you're looking straight at them, you might be able to get around in there, but again, it's very steeply angled, and the effective armor 94. More than likely, you're going to get a ricochet as the shell comes in and bounces off. Another weak spot you could aim for is the view portal, these binoculars here. This system up here, it's 120 millimeters impacted armor, and it only comes out as 120, so that is a weak spot. Of course, being that it's a fixed casement tank destroyer means that the gun can't turn all the way around. It's fixed to the front, and that means the sides of the vehicle are vulnerable. 100 millimeters on the side there, coming out slab-sided at 102. There's, as in the T10, you've got spaced armor around the track area and just on the shoulders of the tank here. So the actual armor is 80 millimeters, but the side armor, the spaced armor, is 30 millimeters, so it's coming out at 152 in total. A shell hitting that might bounce down into the tracks, so you might not be able to get that through. But you can see you can fire between the tracks and get 60 millimeters of side armor there. At the rear, on the casement, it's 50 millimeters slab-sided. 30 millimeters down below, slab-sided again, so more than likely you'll get that through. So if you're looking at one of these from the front, the pointy end, try and get the driver's port. If you can't get the driver's port, go for the view device or the top of the roof, but chances are your round's going to bounce. If you're looking at one of these from the front, ideally you want to try and pump around through the tracks into the side of the body, straight through into the compartment. Let's have a look at the modules. Okay, here's the modules for this tank, and you can see it's the driver's right out front on his own in the center. So that's the spot to aim for if you try to get a puncher around through. Very difficult actually to get around through there. If you do punch through the lower plate, you will get the driver. So more than likely you'll knock his driver out. But of course, as I said, you need a lot of punch to get through that front. You can see there's a lot of ammo racks in this tank. Tank destroyer, I should say. There's 2 ready racks either side. There's 2 loaders there as well, and they've got ready racks on these parts here, and the store is down below. The deep store actually down below in the hull. The gunner is on the right hand side of the tank, and you can see that TC is behind him. So I don't think you're actually going to punch through here. The TC is the one using those binoculars on top, you see. I don't think you're actually going to get through to take out those, but you're more than likely going to get them if you can go through the sides. And remember, just at the shoulder level, that's where the spaced armor is on this tank. So if you do aim in here to try and get that ammo rack, you're more than likely going to get a shell bounce, and it's not going to go through. The best thing to do would be to aim through between the tracks where it's only 60 millimeters, and you can actually puncture through there. At the rear of the casement, you can see at the rear of the vehicle, yes, you can easily punch through this because it's only 50 millimeters. We've got fuel tanks, multiple ones, either side of the engine with transmission at the back. You've got the loaders directly behind the gun. So if you aim directly at the center, you might take out one of the loaders. If you aim at the left-hand side, as you're looking at it right now, you might get the TC and the gunner at the same time. But the ammo racks, well, looking from the rear, it's difficult to get the ammo racks on this one. It really is. So you don't see that many ammo racks on a 268 because it's so well protected. But I guess you can get one if you do manage to punch around through the front drive and it does connect with the ammo rack in there. But chances are, if you do punch around through there, you're more than likely going to connect with a crew member first. But trying to get these side ammo racks, very difficult. Best to go for the deep store by punching it through the tracks there. So that's where all the modules are on the Object 268. I hope you enjoyed that replay. If you did, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And of course, please do let other players know that we're giving all the proceeds from our channel to the Red Cross Ukraine appeal to help the refugees coming out of the Ukraine war at the moment. So please watch as many of our videos as you can, because the more videos you watch, the more money we can send to the refugees. We are providing proof. It's going up on both the What Arty Noobs Facebook page and the What Noobs Facebook page, so you can check and make sure that all the money we've received has gone off to them. So please do watch as many videos as you can, and if you have got an interesting video, yes, Mummy sent me this one fairly recently. If you have got an interesting video, there is a way of sending it to me, and if you look in the description down below the video, it gives you an email address where you can either send the email to, or if you're a member of What Arty Noobs, you can put it on the Facebook pages and I'll spot it there. But there are ways and means of actually sending it to me. Mummy sent it through Twitch, which is not the best way to send it to me, because it's only rarely that I'll actually check my mailbox on the Twitch account. But I do check the other email accounts. So if you do send it to the address specified in the description, I will get it, and then I'll be able to put the video up if I've got the chance, if I've got the time. So thanks very much for watching.